You speak of the build, but I see no hands at work.
The shaping has begun.
Indulge me for a moment. Over the holidays, a close friend of mine dug through his old miniatures and found some old dwarfs from 30 years ago. I studied them in the box, thinking their stories were never really finished. I picked one in particular because, well, he felt familiar. I really wanted to give him a second life. I wanted to see what happens when he's picked up by new hands, new paints, new ideas. Oh, by the beard! Get me! So, again, indulge me for a moment. Let me rescue a few miniatures from the past. Sure, the donkey is a newer Reaper model, but if I wanted Dorgin off the cart, then I needed Betsy off the cart too. There's a part of me that worries about these lost and forgotten miniatures. The ones that end up in drawers, in old cases, quietly passed over for whatever's newer, sharper, and cooler. Die, dwarf! Maybe that says something about me. I'm old enough now to know what it feels like to be less visible, to be overlooked by people younger than me, even when I'm standing right there. In a way, I suppose I'm an old miniature too. That's probably why I'm drawn to the metal heroes of tabletop gaming's past. Ones that mattered once. Ones that still do, even if the market's moved on. Heroes. We talk about heroes as if they're born that way. Chosen. Marked out by fate and destiny. Not forgotten. Not left behind. I think the heroes that stayed with me from my younger years were never like that. They weren't the biggest, they weren't the strongest, they weren't even taken seriously sometimes. I think of Elliot from E.T. He wasn't brave, he was just lonely. He didn't defeat anything, he connected with something, and somehow, that was enough. Herbie the Love Bug wasn't powerful, he was dented, misunderstood. A little ridiculous, I know, but when it mattered, he showed up anyway. And then there was Bilbo and Frodo, hobbits, creatures so small and overlooked that the world forgot to fear them. They weren't forged for heroism, they were worn into it. That idea always mattered to me. As my tabletop build has grown, I've kind of started to realize something. It's not just about what goes on the table or how it looks when the game starts. For me, every new piece changes the story a little. When you add a hallway, you're creating a place someone has to defend. When you carve out a tunnel, you're making a path for somebody to come through. At some point, you stop just building a fortress and you start building those who will have to stand in it. The defenders, the ones who hold the line. whether they ask for it or not, the ones who might become heroes.
Warning. Unexpected inputs detected.
Yes, resistance clarifies intent.
It's the idea that heroism isn't something you are, it's something that happens when you face a challenge and it would have been easier to quit, but you keep going. It's not that you plan to be a hero, you don't strive to be a legend, you just do the job, hold the line, sometimes just getting through the day. And when everything tips the wrong way, you jump in and just do what needs done. That's how it usually goes. Not with trumpets, not with destiny. Sometimes you're just a quiet interruption that jumps in out of the blue and stands in the gap. So, as this grows, I'm really feeling I need to create characters. My dwarves aren't legends, well, yet. I see them as tired, rough, tough, stepping out of the trees because something below the mountain has made itself known. And as more of them emerge, I'm going to have to think carefully about the kind of heroes they become. Not because they're perfect, but because they're needed. Because when the dust settles, that's when you discover that heroes come from unlikely places.
I think you might have broken its snout. Well, that could have been worse.
Thank you for this little indulgence. I'm going to admit, it's probably the first of a lot more to come in the next few months.
I hear you've got a rat problem.